right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Poudre River Public Library's Outreach Services, and we are putting on a presentation for you today about our local Fort Collins Comic-Con, kind of idea of what to expect and what's going to be going on this year. My name is Jace Long, and I'm an LA here over at the library, and my pronouns are he, him. So thank you for joining us today, and let's get started on presentation. All right. All right, so everyone, hello and welcome again. So this is for our Imaginantes group. So what kind of to expect for Comic-Con? Here's the basics. Where you're going to be going is the Northside Atzlin Community Center. The event it starts at 9 a.m. and goes till 6 p.m. Ludi and I will be out front in a visible area to pick up your badges from 10 to 12. So that's the time to come find us. We'll have your badges and we can take anyone to lunch that would also like. It's going to be kind of busy and crowded over there. So if you can, it would be best to get dropped off by somebody, to carpool, or to walk, or find an alternative method of transportation, because it does get pretty busy and there's not a lot of parking over there. You'll see that it is going on both Saturday the 27th and Sunday the 28th. We are going to be there on the 27th to help anyone that wants to come along, wants to explore. So we will be there from the 10 to 12 window. After that, once you pick up your badges or get your lunch, you are free to go and explore however you would like. Participation is 100% up to you. All righty, kind of what to expect here. So you'll have a bunch of vendors. That's all the artists listed on the side of each of the slide. There's going to be a bunch of really fun activities. There's a whole schedule of panels, events, discussions, and workshops, as well as areas for local cosplayers, camps for little kids, vendors, a video game lounge, a tabletop gaming area, an hourly escape room setup, a food truck area, and plenty more. There will be a cosplay catwalk at the end of the day that is open to all participants, no registration required. This is instead of a competition to keep it more fun and open to all, no matter your level of cosplay. There will be activities, like I said, in a bunch of different rooms, but there will be signs on those rooms as well as volunteers around to help direct people. If you would like to dress up, cosplay is welcome and encouraged, but don't feel pressured. There's going to be plenty of people walking around in their street clothes. There are going to be, like I said, a lot of people. The average attendance is about 3,000 people every year with 150 vendors alone. So there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of cool knickknacks, a lot of geeky stuff for you to look around and buy. However, all the other events going on should be free because you'll have your badge to get into the other rooms. So since there's going to be a lot of people, just try and be respectful of people's spaces. It might get a little tight at times, but depending on how you feel with crowds, just keep that in mind. The goal of Comic-Con, it does help fund the library a little bit. However, the overarching goal is really a fun, locally organized, affordable con experience in Northern Colorado to encourage children's literacy and increase access to art, culture, and local creators in our community. Fort Collins Comic-Con is meant to encourage youth literacy through comic books and other pop culture mediums. We also created the con to fill a void for Northern Colorado geeks who normally have to drive 2+ hours to attend huge events like Denver Pop Culture Con and Starfest, typically at great cost for attendees and vendors alike. That is off the Fort Collins Con's website themselves. So it's just supposed to be a really fun time for everyone to geek out a little bit, encouraged to find new fun hobbies and fandoms and all the fun times. So there's a little bit of something for everyone there. All right, so there's also going to be a bunch of really cool guests. Most Comic Cons try and bring in local artists or local people in the arts, in special effects, scientists, big names. So this con follows along with that same line. We have local authors like Jessica Corey. We have special effect artists like Matt Haslam and John Rosengrant. And we have a bunch of really cool scientists to come and give like those kind of panels and discussions, and a bunch of graphic novel artists and writers and cosplayers, and just so many cool creators that are going to be coming, that are going to be there to do the panels, the talks, the discussions, meet and greets. You'll get a chance to meet a bunch of really cool people. All right, so that's some of the stuff that's going to be there. Now let's take a look at how the setup is going to be. So if you've been to the Ashland Center before, you know that there are 2 floors. There's going to be the first floor, and then there's going to be the second floor, and they're each going to have different activities. Here is a map of what the venue layout is kind of going to be, and each room has been labeled after a geeky theme. So the gymnasium upstairs is where all the vendors are going to be, as well as the escape room and one of the activity rooms, which is called the bus. And then downstairs, you're going to have the gaming area. It's called the 8-bit gaming area. That's where there's going to be some Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Tournaments going on. And the other rooms will be labeled for the events going on in them. This map should be available on their website as well as at the location, and the volunteers will know where you're trying to go, so if you have any questions. Okay, so here is the schedule as it appears right now on their website of all the fun things that are going to be going on. There are a couple places where it says TBD, to be determined. So the schedule might change a little bit in the upcoming week. If you want the most accurate one, make sure you check the Fort Collins Comic-Con website the day before to see if anything's updated or changed. But you'll see at the top, they were labeled, like I said on the map, the Enterprise Room, Serenity Room, Millennium Falcon Room, TARDIS Room, and the bus. So those are going to be the name locations you're looking for. And it's also color coded to match the room color on the map above. So we've got a bunch of really cool events going on. We've got the John Rosengrant career highlights. We've got Fantastic Beasts. We've got thermoplastics for cosplay. We've got Dragon Ball Z analysis. We've got Ghost Hunting 101. You can do stuff to learn more about cosplay prop making, and a bunch of really cool informational and fun activities going on. There's also going to be trivia and a lot of other things. So make sure you go onto their website. If you would like more information about what's going to be going on in an event, if you go to their schedule an event, you can click on the one that you're looking at, and it will give you a much more expounded idea of what's going to be going on at that time in that event. All right, this is also the daily activities layout that they have on that same schedules and events page. So the vending hall hours are from 10 to 6. Even though the event opens up at 9 o'clock, the main hours for all the good activities are going to be from 10 to 6, which is why we are also arriving at 10. For anyone who has any younger siblings or little kiddos, they have a steampunk and superhero training grounds. So they can go over there and become a card-carrying member as a superhero, or learn how to do some really cool airship iron opal skills, or they can get their face painted. The cosplay catwalk will be going on later in the evening from 5:30 to 6:15. This is just an open area where people can show off their awesome cosplay that they're playing, no matter your level. If you're just an intro or if you're an expertise, doesn't matter. You can show up, you walk across, you show off your cosplay, and then there's just a bunch of people standing around watching it and cheering you on. And right before the cosplay, there will be a pre-game that goes on in one of the rooms. So make sure you check that out as well. There will be cosplay photo ops from 10 to 6 in one of the designated areas on the second floor. So if you see any people that you really want to take a picture with, go on and head up there and you can get some cool photos. With your badge, you also do get 2 free games of laser tag at Chipper's Lanes. So you can take that afterwards if you'd like and still continue on with the fun. The escape room runs from 10 to 6 as well and is hourly. So you can do it multiple times if you'd like, and just make sure you coordinate your schedule so you know when the next one is opening. That way you can be there in time, because they'll run a new one every hour. The tabletop gaming demos also run from 10 to 6, and the 8-bit lounge, where you can do the Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Drop-in tournaments, runs from 9 to 6. So plenty of time to try all the activities if you'd like, or just find a good area and hang out. All right, now we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty details. We've got rules and tips while attending. So the Fort Collins Comic-Con does have some basic rules that people are encouraged to read and go over. The event and the volunteers do hold the right to kick people out of the event if they are not following the rules. So make sure you know what's going on. One of the biggest things I'll say, it's not explicitly put in the rules, but it's kind of a common knowledge one, is don't touch without asking. Whether it's somebody's costume, prop, hair, art, booth, anything. If somebody has something really cool and you want to check it out, just ask them before you do. Same for taking pictures. There are certain areas in the vending room and in other places in the Atslin Center that are going to be labeled as no photos. So make sure that you respect that and don't take photos where they're listed not to. If you see a really cool cosplay or a really cool costume or really cool art piece, feel free to ask the person if you can take a picture. And if they give you that go ahead, go for it. Some of the basic rules that we'll go over is don't lose your badge. That's one of the ones that's listed the most often. If you don't have your badge, you can't get in the event, you can't do anything, and they will ask you to leave. It cannot be replaced, it must be visible, and you can't sell it. So hold on to that badge once we give it to you. They also have a very strict harassment policy, so make sure you go over that very thoroughly. Just try and be respectful. Don't give slurs. Don't harass people. Don't touch without asking. Don't do any, don't have bad language. Just try and be respectful of everyone around you. There's going to be a lot of kids there. And the website does have a very comprehensive list as well for the vendors and for the attendees. So just keep an eye out for that. Some of the tips we give, I would say plan ahead. That's why I was saying go over the schedule, kind of figure out where the rooms you want to visit the most are, what events are going on. That way you can plan out your day. You know that you can get up to all the sessions and workshops that you want to. So kind of have an idea of what looks good to you. That way you can make the most out of your day. Make sure you bring a water bottle. It's going to be a long one and it's good to stay hydrated. Water bottles are allowed and there'll be fountains in the center too that you can refill. Feel free to bring a small backpack as well so that you can carry around your water bottle, sunscreen, hand sanitizer, a mask, any goods or snacks or supplies that you need. Feel free to bring that so you can carry it all around, and also so that in case you want to buy any goodies from the vendors, you can just store it in there as well and keep it safe. Make sure you wear comfy shoes. It's going to be a very long day. It is required that you wear hard-soled shoes anyways, so just make sure that they're comfy for walking around. And since, like we said, it's going to be a lot of people there, it's a good idea to also maybe wear some deodorant because it's going to get really warm with all the people walking around together. All right, now we're going to get into more of the fun stuff like cosplay. So there are some rules for cosplayers that I want to go over first before we get into some of the fun aspects of it. All costumes for cosplayers must be PG friendly because there's going to be a lot of kids there as well. So don't let that restrict your creativity, but just make sure that they're keeping appropriate for everyone. The things that they are most strict about are going to be prop weapons. If any cosplay that you would like to do has a weapon, please read very carefully through the cosplay rules. They have very specific ones. Mostly your weapon should not be real. It should not pose any danger to anyone, and it cannot be used in a threatening manner towards anyone. And it has to be a prop, not an actual weapon. Any props must be peace bonded by the Fort Collins Comic-Con staff. That means they will inspect it, they will go over it, and they will put a sticker on it to let everyone know that it has been approved. All right, and also make sure that you don't have any hate symbols or cosplay elements that could be confused as hate symbols. If your cosplay could be mistaken as law enforcement, please don't wear it. That way, in case there's actual law enforcement there, there's no confusion. And then make sure everyone is courteous of attendees when posing for photography. Don't try and block ways, and always make sure that you ask. All right, so cosplay is for all. It doesn't have to be 100% made from scratch. It doesn't have to be elaborate. If you put together a costume representing an idea or fictional character, you are a cosplayer. It's supposed to be fun. So as much as it is an art and a hobby and a skill, and it showcases amazing creativity, it's also supposed to be fun. So make sure that you're having a good time with it. If you're stressing out so super much about your cosplay, just wear something fun. Think of it like Halloween, but year round. Cosplay can be hard. It can take a lot of effort to put together your vision, and dressing up outside of holidays, you can sometimes get some weird looks. But you are not alone. Lots of people at Comic-Con will be dressed up, some with simple getups and some with very complex ones, like the ones you've seen with wings or just intense makeup and uniforms. Whether you are a novice or virtuoso, you are welcome to dress up and show off your cosplay on the catwalk. And it is meant to be fun and a work of art. It's okay if no one knows your character. They'll come up and ask you about it. They might ask to take pictures. Only do what's comfortable for you. You have your own autonomy at this event, no matter how you dress up. Okay, so how to get started. There are plenty of ways to start your cosplay. A couple ways are to first pick a favorite character that you really love or have wanted to dress up as. Another is to start with what you first have in your closet and see what you can put together. Sometimes I get inspired by just finding random pieces in my closet and going, hey, this kind of reminds me of this character. And then boom, I can dress up like them. And it takes little effort and very little money. Or you can go online or Pinterest and just search for costume ideas. A ton will pop up. There's so many good ideas out there. And then you can take a look at those and kind of see where you want to go from there. So like we said, pick your character. Research is important. If you look up a costume idea for what you've chosen, look at different approaches or ideas, find what you'll need for the look you want. Sometimes it's better to go simple instead of complex. You do only have a week if you start right now until Comic-Con, so don't try and create any huge angel wings. That might take a little bit more effort, but you could start planning for next year's Comic-Con or even for Halloween. So take this as an opportunity to kind of do like a test run trial to see if maybe cosplay is for you. You can look for costume and cosplay ideas on Pinterest if you're having a hard time picking a character. So these are just some examples that I showed, like you can find a pretty simple Kim Possible one with maybe clothes that you already have, or you can use even just like a poncho and a red balloon, and that will be a character that everyone knows. Right, here's some other really cool examples of characters. Some great resources to utilize if you're trying to do more research and try and find the best way for you to do your cosplay. Use YouTube, use Instagram, Pinterest, and cosplayer blogs. There's a lot of really famous cosplayer blogs out there now, and they give so many tips and ideas and utilize different props or supplies that you might have around your home that you didn't even think about using that way, or reutilizing old jewelry or old clothes. There's a lot of people out there who have a lot of information. If you want questions or suggestions for any of that, just let us know and I can send you some. Now, a lot of cosplayers might say that to be a true cosplayer, you have to make everything from scratch, but that's just not true or realistic. It's better to just recycle things that you have. So try going to a local thrift store and finding pieces there that are close to what you want or that you could reutilize into a new thing. You can always do a variation of characters as if they were everyday civilian clothes and what that would look like, or you can just cut things up and reuse them into whole new ways. Some supplies around your house that are incredibly useful are like duct tape, cling wrap, Velcro, magnets, cardboard, foam, hot glue guns, clothes that you already have, paint, zip ties, popsicle sticks, headbands. All of those could be used to make crowns, to make collars, to make props, really cool things like that. And that's where some of those Instagram and YouTube videos will become really helpful to using it like that. Think of cosplay as more of a craft project than it is a fashion show. And one of the things I always let people know is don't let things like the character's gender or race or body type or species or anything like that hold you back from doing a cosplay. As long as you are being respectful to yourself and the people around you and the character, cosplay is cosplay. You can dress up however you would like. All right. And these are some of the ways that maybe we could help support you. We have a lot of online resources. If you want some more help learning how to do some of the creative things, how to work with certain elements, with paint, with creating things, with sewing, we have a bunch on our research page that will be linked later if you would like to find that. We also have Creative Bug, which can teach you a lot of different things. But if you need supplies, access to some bigger supplies like sewing machines, thread and needle, hot glue gun, please reach out and let us know. We could try and set something up. We have study rooms at Old Town Library where you can meet up to work on projects together, and that's where we could bring some of those supplies in for you. We have a plenty of extra research resources as well, such as books, sewing, cosplay, and online resources. And if you have any other questions about Comic-Con in general, any concerns, or any tips for cosplay or anything, please feel free to email me. I have linked my email there. Feel free to use that for anything you need. All right, and here are some of the links that I was referring to. The top one will be for the homepage for the Comic-Con info. Then there's the rules page, and then there's the schedule page. So that's where you can find all the information you need about what's going to be going on, what to do and not to do, and where to find all the cool events. Below are also some links to other ideas for cosplay, some other rules for Comic-Con, and a link to our research page for some resources. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our presentation. I hope that was helpful and you have a better idea of what's going to be going on at our Fort Collins Comic-Con this year. We all hope to see you there, and it's going to be an amazing time. So go forth and be nerdy.